Zach's a good example of a partial nail plate spicule that's left. And the good thing is there's enough of a plate there for us to bond to. So I'm going to try to build out a new plate with a KeryFlex, and we'll go through the steps. It will require a little debridement because the nail's a little flaky. Okay, so at this stage, we've got the nail smoothed down a little bit. It was warming up because there's not a whole lot of nail left. What you want to do after you've debrided your nail, you want to clean it off with an alcohol swab. We're going to put the Kery Bond on. And so with a Kery Bond, you want to make sure you get the entire nail plate and also the nail bed where there's no nail. This is going to take a couple of minutes to dry, and it is fairly critical when you put the solution on that you don't rush this step. Make sure you let it dry. A little long shape. I'm going to try to adhere it here. I use magnifying glasses with a light. It really helps. It magnifies the toe. It helps with the contouring. I think it gives a little better appearance too. So we've got our little silicone platform, and I'm going to try to build out to it. Now when you start with the resin, which we're going to do next, and I chose natural for this because I want to kind of try to match to his other nails, and there wasn't a lot of discoloration to the existing nail plate that's left, so I think this should work well. If there were more discoloration, the opaque would have been better because it'll disguise it a little bit more while you're covering. Very important when you do this, and this is kind of a goof-proof technique because if you build it too large or there's divots, you can grind it, you can add a second layer to it. But there is one part you want to be very careful of, and that's that you don't get it back on the posterior nail fold or on the sides of the lateral nail folds. So you're really just trying to work within that area, because if you go over it, it adheres to the skin, it can create problems. So be very careful that way. That's where your practice, I think, comes in, just trying to make sure you're staying within it. I did a little experimenting with a putty where you could go around the sides and kind of protect it that way. The problem is you tended to build up like a wall on the edges, so I think it's better to use the putty just on the distal nail margin. And these are all single use, so they're all sealed.
When you unseal this, it is a resin, and while the light is key on hardening, this idea that you close it, you save it, you use it later, forget it. Once you unseal it, it's done. So it's a single time use, but you got more than enough time to get it through for 24 hours without a problem.
It's also nice with a patient that they see you open it right in front of them. Sure. And you peel that top off and they know nobody else, there's nothing else dipping into that thing, that's their bottle.
Just try to keep it on there. Now this is the first layer. I'm going to go ahead and use the light and set this. Your red light has to be on, and then you're just going to hold this till the blue light, the ultraviolet light comes on. And you could set it with a stand, which is a little easier. Have an assistant help with this if you want. Now it's kind of nice here. You can see how easily your putty just pulls away, and it doesn't stick at all to the KeryFlex. So by doing that, we're able to build this out a little bit better. So at this point, you're going to look at the nail and see if you want to shape it a little bit more. When you first start, you'll probably be a little rougher, so you'll need to contour it. You can use your drill if you'd rather. If it's just mild, you could use a file just to smooth it a little bit.
Idiot proof. 2 minutes, right on a button.
Now I see one area where I'm over the margin a little bit, and that's on the medial nail where I can feel it. So you could either, again, use your file. If you had a little small nail nipper, you could also use that to take that down. Require a little debridement because the nail's a little flaky. Now for the seal, you're going to use the same black brush, okay, that you used when you put on the resin. So the white brush is only when you're putting on the bond. And with this, you're just putting a very thin layer on, just really a coating. And I usually start at the posterior nail fold and just pull it forward very lightly. And that's it. I'm just thinning it and trying to smooth it out evenly here. And that's basically the last step. We'll cure this, and then if your patient likes a little bit of a shiny appearance to it, can leave it. If they want it a little more dull, I think a little more natural, use the white buffing tool that you have.